Welcome to Rise Infotech. Today in this session, we are going to discuss about the interview preparation for all the SAP functional consultant. Let's start now. Okay, the first point is very important. You should have the good communication skills with confidence. It's not only for applicable only for the SAP interviews. Any kind of the job interview, definitely you should have the good communication skills with confidence. Second point is very important. You should be perfect with the introduction part. For example, you are a SAP functional consultant. Consider you are a MM consultant or SD or PP, any kind of the functional consultant. In that case, definitely when you are giving the interview, the first question will be like interviewer going to ask you, please explain about yourself or like introduce yourself. In this case, what are the things you are going to cover in the introduction part that I am going to cover now? Firstly, you can start from your education background. So recent degree, for example, you have completed engineering or like BBA or BCom, you have completed recently in the year, around few years back, that you can cover. Or no need to start from the schooling or like PUC, that's not required. Only one degree, that's enough. Next point is about your total experience and relevant experience. You might be having 6 years of work experience or 7 years of total work experience. Out of that, you might be having 3 years of work experience as a SAP functional consultant, any of the module. So you can cover total experience 6 years. Out of that, you have relevant experiences 3 years or 4 years of work experience. Next is number of the project which you have worked. So you might be worked 3 projects in your experience as a MM functional consultant or like as a SAP SD consultant. You can tell only number of the projects plus name of the project that you might be worked on one implementation project. You can say yes, we have worked one SAP S4HANA implementation. That might be greenfield or like bluefield or brownfield. And also you can tell which tool you have used. That might be on-premises or cloud. So next is which are industries you have worked. So in the market, we have multiple industries. Mainly example, you might work for the oil and gas or energy and utilities or chemical industry or healthcare industry. You can cover the industries. And the last one is client name. If you're okay, you can just tell the client name or you can keep it as optional, make it as a confidential. Simple. So was education background, total experience, relevant experience, number of the projects, name of the project, and these are the projects related to which industries. Last is client details. This much is enough and perfect for the introduction part. Okay, the third point is very important. You should know the rules and responsibilities for each project. For example, you might be worked on the one end-to-end implementation project. In that end-to-end implementation project, what are your individual contribution, what you have worked during the project. So mainly you should know, okay, which client you are working, and example, you are in your team, what was the team size, total how many consultant was working in that project, what's the project duration, and you are supporting for the which country, and in that project, what are the tools you have used. So might be SAP S4HANA, Fury application, and ticketing tool, Jira. Along with that, if the client is using any kind of the client web-based application, that also you can cover. Simple. Next one is fourth point, very important. So what are the challenges you have faced during the project? So for example, so when you are working on the support project, that time you will get one critical incident. What was the problem and what was the solution you have given? And you have connected with the which team and you got the solution. So these are the things you should be well aware, because definitely during the interview, you will get 1 or 2 questions like, tell me some critical incidents. How much time you have taken to resolve that incident? So these are things you should be very expert. So next is area of expertise. If you are MM consultant, you should know what are your area of expertise. So might be business process like standard P2P cycle, subcontracting, consignment, like that you should be perfect. If you are SD consultant, you should be aware of the R to cash cycle, third party process, STO. You should be expert. If you are a PP consultant, you should know the make to stock, make to order business process. Very important, along with the master data. So next is what are your individual contribution in that project. So example, this is the implementation project you have worked. In that implementation project, what was your individual contribution? You might be have taken care of the business gathering requirement, or you might be prepared the PIT gap documents, or you have prepared the FS document preparation, functional specifications, or like you might be also done the with respect to your module configurations plus testing, that might be SIT or UAT, or also you might be involved in the month-end activities or go live activities, or you also might be involved in the hypercare support. So these are the things you can cover, your individual contribution, very important. Okay, next big point is you should be perfect with the technical questions with scenario based questions. Consider you are MM consultant. In that, we should know at least few scenario-based questions with respect to standard business process. What kind of scenario-based will come? So one simple example with respect to MM module. So in the PO header level, what it controls the PO header level data? Or in the PO, what controls the PO item level data? Or in the PO, from where we can fetch the currency? So these are the simple examples with respect to scenario-based questions. Along with the technical questions like, for example, technical team means a BAP consultant. Okay, so when you have connect with the BAP consultant, example, when you're writing the functional specifications, that time you have to connect with the ABAPers, you have to briefly explain the client requirement, accordingly prepare the FS, then based on your FS, the technical team, they will prepare the TS, technical specifications, then they will do the developments, then after you have to do the testing. So you should be perfect with the technical questions as well. And also when you connect to the basis consultant, when you connect to the security consultant, so these are things you should be well expert. Okay, sixth point is very important. You should know the business process and integration knowledge. So when you are working as a functional consultant, you should not like you have to work independently. Definitely you need to connect with the technical team as well as with the other functional module consultant. Consider you are the SD consultant, definitely you need to connect with the SD plus MM plus FICO consultant. It's like each module has an integration with the other module as well. So in that module, okay, so when you have connected with them, what the purpose, what's the business requirement in that, in which business process you have connected with the other module, you should be expert in that. And along with the integration. So for example, your system might be connected with the only SAP system, or you might be transferring the data from the SAP system to non-SAP system or other ERP system. That also you should be aware. So very important, like MM to FI integration, very important. Same way integration from SD, MM and FI. FI means finance and controlling. So along with the parallel definition, you should know the integration with the PP and MM and FICO. So very important, these are the integration business process. You should be well expert. Seventh point is you should know the hands-on experience plus system knowledge. And during the interview, it's not like you should know only perfect in the theory part. You should practice in the system. So consider you are practicing the S4HANA, take it as SAP best practice, you can practice. Each concept, each topic, you can practice. So when you are performing the interview, that time you will become expert. So also you should know the real transactions, real time, how it works in the real time, that you should understand. And also definitely very important, what are the standardization we have and what are the customization we have, configurations. And what kind of errors you got and how you have resolved it. So you should know the debugging method. Simple. So 8th point is, these are the pro tips for cracking the interview. So very simple, very important. The first one, you should know the real-time business scenarios. Second point is, you should be very confident with all your modules. So in the sense, for example, you are a SD consultant. You should know the very confident about all the master data, all the standard business process with all the configurations plus transactional data. These are the things you should be perfect. In case you are a SAP MM functional consultant, you should be perfect with the organizational data, master data, transactional data. So these are things you should be very expert. Along with that, in your module, what are the configurations we have? That all should be perfect. So better suggestion is like prepare one list of all the configurations in your module. Accordingly, you can tell in the interviews. Prepare well. So next is project specific questions. Example, so when you are working on the SAP S4HANA implementation, so which method you have used? Methodology. Example, activity methodology. In that activity methodology, we have the six pages we have. In the 6 pages, what are the first step? What is the second phase? In that phase, what you have done? What action you have taken? What was your roles and responsibilities during that stage? So these things you should be perfect. So next is you should be brush up on the SAP best practice. Example, you might be getting the starter customizing or like CBC system for configurations or like sandbox system for the testing purpose or like for the practice purpose. So practice that one, you will become expert. So next is with respect to SAP S4HANA, you should be well expert. So basically SAP S4HANA, nowadays most of the interviews they are going to ask you what is the difference between SAP S4HANA and ECC. And in the SAP S4HANA, again we have private cloud and public cloud plus on-premises. So basically on-premises and cloud edition. In the cloud edition, again we have segregated like private edition and public edition. And you should be well aware team. Private on-premises, SAP releasing every year new version. Private and public cloud yearly twice. It might be in the month of February plus in the month of August. So these are things you should be aware. And this SAP S4HANA has a UI with the one more application, that is a Puri application. So these are things you should be well aware. And like what is the difference between SAP S4HANA? Mainly example, we have the business partner to create the customer or to create the vendor master, that we can call a supplier. Or in the SAP S4HANA, we can call material as a product. So these are very simple things you should be covering during the intro. Simple. So 9 point is very important. So in like team, so 9 point is we have Rise Infotech prepared the most important intro questions with answers. Please contact the Rise Infotech, get the important intro questions and answer. That will help you to clear the real-time intros. And the last one is you should be perfect with what are the things or what are the words you have mentioned in your CV or in your resume, that you should be perfect. Something you are not confident or something you are not expert, don't mention in that CV. What are things you are going to cover in the CV that you should be expert. All the best. Thank you. See you on the next video. Have a great day.